Playing Fluffy from Game Duel, one of the world's largest social games communities. The online game developer is based in Berlin. But it's not all fun and games here. It's hard work. Graphic artists and mathematicians are among the firm's highly qualified staff. Almost a third of the 205 employees come from abroad, and Game Duel is looking to hire 50 more skilled workers. But if a prospective employee comes from a nation outside the EU, the company's personnel manager has his hands full.
For instance, it's hard when we want to recruit people from Brazil. And we had a really complex case with a man from India who was living in Finland. It requires a mountain of documentation. And if someone hasn't quite completed their studies, or their degree isn't recognized here, it can be a serious obstacle.
But the company needs foreign workers. Firstly, to find enough qualified personnel, and secondly, because the firm wants to attract gamers on the international level. Rahul Sharma began working for Game Duel last September. The head of personnel wants to know how hard it was for him to apply and what he thought of the recruitment process. The Indian computer programmer is familiar with the obstacles foreign applicants come up against. One of the biggest is the German language.
How can I get a job if I don't know the language? Job ads are all written in German, and most of the communication with companies is carried out in German. That makes it tough in the beginning. So most people say, I'll go to the US, England, or Australia instead.
Yet Germany should be pulling out the welcome mat for immigrants. The country needs to attract skilled workers, not least due to demographic change. Labor market researcher Herbert Brücker has done the calculations.
If we take the hypothetical situation that there's no immigration, then the workforce in Germany would sink around 40% by the year 2050. Then we'd have just 27 million workers instead of 45 million.
That's why firms like Game Duel want the government to make immigration easier. Rahul Sharma favors a points system like those used in typical immigration countries. Here, applicants are rated according to criteria such as job qualifications.
I'd say do something like Australia or Canada do. Introduce a points system, so it's clear what you need, whether you're qualified enough. And then you can determine whether it's worth investing your time applying or not.
Yet the immigration concept of Germany's next government is still very vague. Labor market expert Herbert Brücker says current regulations, like the one requiring a certain income level, should be loosened.
It might be wise to continue down the road we've started on and liberalize things even more. But I think it's almost more important to advertise this fact. Word hasn't yet gotten around that Germany is open for immigration. It's also a question of companies conducting recruitment campaigns abroad. And this is just beginning.
Game Duel is searching the globe for qualified new employees. But it would make the personnel manager's job much easier if he could hire foreign workers without having to deal with so much red tape.